where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
Meow, 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 meow. All right, first of all, come see me do a stand-up comedy. That's where I get to get away from my children and stay in a hotel for a few days to sleep. September 5th, Milwaukee. September 6th, Chicago. September 7th, Boston, Massachusetts. October 3rd through 5th, Nashville, Tennessee. November 22nd, Seattle. And then the 23rd of November in Portland, Oregon. All ticket links are at Christina P online. And I think I added a show in Irvine, California. And that will be shown up shortly. Also, the website is available, WhereMyMomsAt.com, if you want to see that. Also, Native, let's go ahead and plug the phone number where people can call me and leave in voicemails.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Yeah, why don't we do that? If you want to email me a story, email me at WhereMyMomsAt@gmail.com. I love to hear all things mom. Tell me your deepest anxieties, your greatest mom fails, your greatest mom triumphs. Questions you might have for me, not like any great fountain of wisdom, because I'm learning and I don't have many mom friends. So you guys are my mom friends. And what's the number? Okay, well, let's go to my Where My Mom's At. So the other night, 2 nights ago, my little baby, again, he was up all night with a cold and a horrible, horrendous cough. And he's got all these lung issues. And now he has a nebulizer, and he has, steroids and all this crap. And they're like, oh, he's got asthma. Anyways, husband and I were up all night long, and it was like the old days of having a newborn, to the point where he and I would like take turns being like, I can't do it anymore, and handing the baby off to each other. And I realize I talk a lot about the hard stuff about being a mom. And that's what this show is about, is being real. Because I think the Kool-Aid, the party line on motherhood is that it is the best job in the world. It's the most fulfilling thing a woman can do. And once you become a mom, it just sucks the person out of you were before. And now all things are mom. And that's it, like a zombie, And it is the best. I do love being a mom. I just want to preface that. But it's complicated, and there's ambivalence. So the phone number is 213-375-5184. Go ahead and leave me a voicemail. Again, 213-375-5184. Leave a voicemail and your name and where you're calling from. I just like to know where people are calling from. Any hoodles, I wanted to start this episode because, like I said, we talk about all the struggles and the hardships and staying up with your baby all night long. And now I have the cough my kid has, et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted to talk about the good stuff. Why do people have kids? And why did I go back for seconds? Because clearly it's not that horrible if I have 2 sons and I freaking love it and I love them. And so here's this email I got. This guy wrote to me. My name is Devin. I'm a 23-year-old male, not a dad, but I'm definitely a mommy. I don't want children, but finding a girl my age who agrees is a hard thing to do. So help me out and tell me all of the best parts of being a parent, the kind of stuff that makes all the gross and embarrassing stuff seem less bad. Keep my hand tight. Okay, so let's start out with the obvious. Before I had kids, I was convinced that the only reason people have children is because of their own vain, narcissistic need to have copies of themselves. And I have to tell you, that's 100% true. And I love it. Nothing makes me happier when one of the children looks more like me than Tom, or when it's true. And that's truly a great joy of parenting, is to see a little copy of you doing something. At least for me, I do enjoy it when he's a little antisocial. Ellis, his first sentence to my husband was, "I'd like to play alone, please." And I was like, yes, you're mine, And Julian too, he's so happy and just so beautiful. And I it's true. It's narcissistic. And then, there's a societal expectations of why we should have children, right? Because if you don't, then something's clearly wrong with you. You should want to devote your life to raising your offspring. And that's just stupid. But But it is nice when you do have them, because then people do respect you. It's kind of like when you get married as a woman anyways. I don't know in the men's world, but once you get married and you've got the ring, people do treat you differently. And that's super messed up, but it's true. And when you become a mom, it's like you're like lady royalty now. And it's fantastic. There's parking spaces for you when you're pregnant at some stores, which is a neat perk. There's pregnancy discounts, or at least I would force a discount on people when I buy stuff. I'd be like, I'm pregnant, just give me 10% off. And they sometimes did. But let me tell you the truth. So here's the real. It is, being a mom seriously is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. And that's like like seriously, like, yeah, I've been a stand-up comic, and yeah, I tell fart jokes, and that's pretty fulfilling. But to really, it adds like a sense of gravity to your life. Like if I died tomorrow, that would be really bad for my kids, because then they'd be raised by my husband and like some Dalmatian 20-year-old yoga instructor. So it gives your life extra meaning. You start to exercise more, and you're like, oh, I better stick around for 20 years, so at least 18 more years. And like the best part too is it's intrinsically a good thing to be into your children and like, to raise them, because it's not having kids. It's not measured by external things like wealth or status. Like that stuff comes and goes. But it's always there, your children, which is great. I like saying, the best part I like actually is getting to rebuy all the toys my crappy parents never bought for me. Like getting to buy like an easy bake oven, even though I have 2 boys. I don't gender them, but I never got to have those, or like shrinky dinks, and like I buy all that stuff now, and my kids do not give a rip, but it's for me and it's exciting, and that's all fun. You get to heal. And then this is like a real thing. Like you do get to heal your own childhood wounds by becoming a parent, because it all just comes flooding back, man. You don't think about stuff forever until you see a kid, like if your 3-year-old says something to you or behaves in a way that like throws you into a rage, and you're like, whoa, what is that? It's not him, it's you. And then you go back and you're like, oh yeah, that's at that time my parents did this and that or the other. So it kind of forces you to look at your own personality, and I get to say neat things to them. I love disciplining them. It's fun. Like when your kids are bad, you get to come up with like creative ways to threaten their lives and stuff. Like my mom used to yell at me in Hungarian, and she would always be like, "Akaran pofont kapsz, hogy leesik a fejed." Like, I'm gonna hit your head so hard, your head's gonna fall off. And I don't say that shit now to my kids, but I love being like, there's monkey business happening in the next room. There's monkey business, and that's fun, and it's silly, and it just adds a level of fun and silliness to your life that I feel like you don't get. I like playing with my kids. I think because I grew up so fast. I grew up at like 4, and so I love being childish with them, and their faces, man. There's nothing like your little kid's face when they smile at you and they put their little arms around you, and it really is the best thing in the world. And honestly, like I'm 43, so if I didn't have children, I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this free time? Like I've had brunch, I've seen all the movies, I've done drugs, I don't want to hang out with friends anymore. I don't want to travel. I've been places suck. So now I'm like, I just want to stay home with my kids. Yeah. Oh, and then teaching them fun things. Like we taught our toddler to say I have to take a dump when he has to poo. And, it's fun, like little stuff. And I tell you, as much as I don't want to stay up all night with my kids, there is nothing like hearing your little kiddo scream, "Mommy, help. Mommy, I need you." It's cute. You just like the minute they say mommy, it's over, and they're just the best things in the world. So there you go. There's positive aspects to having children. I don't want this show to be all about like, man, changing dirty diapers sucks. Like, no kidding. But I do want to demystify the whole thing that motherhood is somehow the end all be all to your existence, and that somehow you get this amnesia memory erase and you're no longer the person you were. which is just not I don't know, at least for me, I'm still who I was, except now I have 2 other people to care for, and there's, layers of responsibility and crap. But later on, we're going to speak to a woman named Deanna, who I actually met at one of my shows before she got pregnant like a year ago. And she and I kept in touch on the gram. And we're going to call her later, and we're going to talk about identity and losing your sense of self once you have kiddos, because it's really easy, man. I remember after I had Ellis, I was like, I listened to Howard Stern incessantly in the car. And I remember saying to my therapist, like, am I allowed to like Howard Stern after being a mom? Like, am I allowed to laugh at the horrible things I have for the last, my whole life? Am I allowed to be juvenile now that I'm a role model for somebody? And the answer is yes. You just, you shut it off and you become a different person, a little bit different. Obviously at home, I don't talk about drinking pee and like with my kids. Not yet. That comes when they're a teenager and they have the internet now, so they get exposed so fast to things. So let's start with mom fails. Those are like my all-time faves.
Now it's time for a round of mom fails.
I love this one. This one made me LOL. This is a man who writes in. This is Chris. So I was standing in line at the grocery store the other day. I'm a father of 10 and 5-year-old boys. The 10-year-old grabs a toy the 5-year-old had to take into the store. I watch him do this. The 5-year-old instantly starts to whine. I look down. Come on, dude, don't make him whine. 10-year-old. I didn't take anything. Me at full volume dad voice. I saw you, motherfucker. Yep. Next snap. People are disgusted. I'm not happy about it, but I look around and just say, yeah, I keep it real. And I don't know if that's something that every parent has, but it seems to me dads have 2 voices, speaking dad tone and dad speaking tone. And sometimes that dad tone just pops out 100%, dude. I haven't called them motherfuckers yet, but definitely. You end up I call my kids dude all the time and bro. I'm like, dude, bro, don't do that, bro. It's so great. That's so funny. Okay, here's another mom fail. I like this one. Not my proudest mommy moment. In fact, one of the ones I felt worse about. My son, who is now 4 years old, was about 6 months old and had a diaper rash and was crying over it. He was my first kid, so I panicked and quickly went through our bottom drawer where we kept such ointments. I put a hefty amount of cream on him, and then he started screaming his butt off. Turned out I had just put a hefty amount of Bengay on his diaper rash, not butt paste. Yikes. Needless to say, we don't even keep Bengay in the house anymore. Luckily, he was so young, he does remember it. Thank God for them being so young, they don't remember it. Because that's, oh, yeah. I gave my toddler real toothpaste the other day, not realizing that their taste buds are probably so much more sensitive. And he was like, it burns. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they're resilient. Thank God for that. And thank God they still love us despite that. That's so funny. I wonder if people hear me talking to my kids. I don't call them mother effers, but I definitely talk to them the way I do. I don't think other moms do. Sometimes my kids are like, well, Ellis can talk, and he's always like, stop it, be normal. I'm like, oh no. I'm going to hear that a lot. I can do the floss. I floss, I learned that dance from Fortnite, and I was doing it in the kitchen yesterday. And Ellis liked it for about 2 seconds, and he was like, no dancing. I'm like, yeah, I know, I feel that. All right. Okay, let's do another mom fail. This one's a kind of serious, but I like it. It says, mom fail. My worst mom moment was when I got an abortion. Love you, jeans. Wow, that's deep, bro, for sure. Not a mom fail. I wouldn't categorize it as that. I would say that that's probably the most responsible thing you can do if you're not ready to have a child. My gosh, I wish more people did that if they didn't want to have a baby, right? All right, let's do a voicemail. These are so much fun. Let's do the first voicemail, Nadav.
Yeah, this one is from Lacey.
Yes, wanted to let you know, with my ex, when he was watching the kids, I come back and he puts them in the baby jail. And apparently that is the pack and play. And if you put a couple of them together and tape them together, it could be like the size of a room. And he just laid on the couch.
Great.
And then a mommy fail for me leaving him with him. Another one is my daughter likes to take off as of last summer when we're sleeping in a new neighborhood. That was not good. Once again, I'm lazy. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, Christina P.
Oh my God. I did not know you could tape the two pack and plays together. Now let me think it through, because a pack and play is a crib that you can take with you. You can tape them together. I'm assuming you have to cut out, right, one area, like, because they're two cribs. They're two mesh cribs. Yeah, let's look this up, because I like her thinking. Right, but see, they're four-sided mesh. So maybe you could zip. Is there like a tent, you can zip one side down maybe?
Maybe you put it on the side and then...
Oh, baby jail. That's what it is.
And then just tape it all so that there's just no opening.
That's so funny. That's so 1950s. Like they used to just put the kid in the pack and play type of thing and walk away. They used to leave babies in whatchamacallit, strollers in the 1950s and just keep them outside all day, like newborns, because the thought was they needed a lot of fresh air so that they would be extra tired and then they would sleep better, which is, and they would do it like in the snow too, like in cold weather, which is amazing. Yeah.
All right. This next voicemail is from Michael.
Michael.
What's up, my jeans? This is Michael, and I got a little tale for you. I call my wife retarded sometimes, and so my son did a little mess up, and I called him retarded, and now when he introduces himself, he says, "Hi, I'm retarded." So, yeah, that's a tale for you. Keep in mind tight.
First of all, we do not condone the R word in studio jeans. We prefer TikTok. That's what we say around here. That's crazy. You gotta be so careful, man. They pick up on everything so fast.
Man, how do you fix that?
My name's Timmy and I'm retarded. You have to not react. Like, because Ellis said the F word a few times. We were just like, nope, don't do it. As awesome as it is when your little kid says it in like a shrimp voice, you have to be like, no, because then they don't know it's bad. That's the whole secret, is they don't know. Once they find out it's awesome to say it, then you're really screwed. I used to say fuck all the time in school, though. I used to yell it out when I would lose at bingo, and I used to get wiffle paddle. Did you guys get corporal punishment growing up?
At school?
Yeah, I went to a Lutheran school, and they would wiffle paddle me or put Listerine on a cotton ball and make you suck on it. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
This is in L.A.?
Dude, in the valley.
What?
Yeah, bro.
In
the 80s.
Didn't have that in any schools that I went to.
But you grew up in LA?
I grew up here too, yeah. I went to a Jewish school, maybe that's why.
The Jews don't beat their kids, do they?
Nah.
Yeah,
No.
it's Christians beat their kids.
Yeah, we just use shame and disappointment to get kids to do what they want.
What did you hear? What did your mom tell you?
To get me to do things.
Yeah. How did she shame you?
Just like basic disappointment. Like, man, I have no other kids like you. Like she would say stuff where it's just like, oh, you're different and more difficult than the other ones. That's how she get me. Because I'm the youngest of four kids. So I'm like, what? I'm not normal like my other siblings. And then I'd just quickly, start behaving for like a day, and then I'd go back.
Wow, that's got to be pretty scarring though, to have your mom be like, you're the messed up one.
Well, at least she kept it consistent up until college. So it's like, it was never, it was kind of, I kind of liked it towards the end of it. Like, yeah, I'm the different one.
Oh, because now look at you.
I'm the one keeping you on your toes.
Yeah. But how are your other siblings? Are they as cool as you? Probably not.
No, but they're like super good, normal people.
Oh, so maybe your mom was right. I guess you are kind of a black sheep. That's terrible.
They don't laugh at any of the things I laugh at.
Oh, that's a problem. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, we got some more voicemails here.
I love that.
We got 2 more voicemails for you.
My name's Ricky. This happened back when I was like in the 1st or 2nd grade. my mom shows me and my brother the movie It, from Stephen King. And then the next weekend after that, and that was like a whole week of us, you know, having nightmares of this clown, she takes us to the damn circus. And I'm sitting there with my mom at the circus, and a clown is, you know, trying to do magic tricks, and I'm terrified of this dude. He reaches in to kiss my mother, and I hit this clown. You know, I thought he was trying to bite my mom's face like in the movie.
That's hilarious. You cannot show small children horror films, dudes. Right? This is horrible. But in the 80s, I remember my parents did not filter what I watched at all, like ever. I watched Poltergeist when I was a kid too. Did you guys watch Poltergeist? Were you old?
I remember when I was a kid, we wanted to watch Titanic, and so my mom made us watch Poseidon Adventures first.
Okay, that's like super. Okay, that's not even. It's not a scary movie, Titanic.
No, Poseidon Adventures was that gave us fucking nightmares.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Oh yeah,
so boring.
It's Poseidon Adventures.
Isn't it boring? I thought
it's an old school movie where people just slowly drown to death.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it was
terrible.
Terrifying. Yeah, I saw that in like second grade.
Maybe that's just an immigrant thing where they don't shield you from anything. Like, because my mother and my father are like, this is good. You learn about real life. Real life is hard. I'm like, cool. All right. Like, I used to watch The Elephant Man when I was 5 years old. That movie was terrifying. Right?
I didn't see that. What was that?
Oh my God. The Elephant Man. It was a guy who was, my name is John Merrick. It was a guy with these horrible deformities. Like, remember Rocky Dennis from Mask? It was like similar to Rocky Dennis looked like, but it was a black and white movie, and he wore a burlap sack. Dude, it's based on this dude. There he is. That's the Elephant Man. Oh my, and I would watch this at like 5 years old in front of my dad. He didn't think to turn it off or change the channel to cartoons. Yeah, it was terrifying. And he found, he's trying to find human love. Oh my God, it was the worst. And Poltergeist, I was so afraid of clowns too from Poltergeist. Jaws, remember that? 80s kids watching Jaws and then not wanting to swim in a pool because of that shit for a year. It was terrible. Don't show your kids scary movies. Of course, now there's like warnings on everything. Like, we were watching Stranger Things last night on Netflix, and there's a warning for the strobe lighting that may hurt people with photosensitivity. Like, are you kidding me? There's enough people with this issue that you need to put a disclaimer on those with, eventually it's going to be an entire list, a laundry list of nonsensical phobias and problems. Like, this could be triggering for people with nosebleed issues and issues with monsters and like, oh God. Right? That's going to be the next level of non-sensory strobe lighting. Isn't that true though? In Japan, there was some Japanese cartoon that gave kids strokes or something.
Yeah, I think there was some show that came out that like, was it Pokemon?
I gave kids seizures and stuff.
It gave like a lot of kids seizures. And so I think ever since then, like, it started becoming to be a thing. But I mean, like, seizures are a real thing. I think seizure warnings are okay.
Are they?
If something could give someone seizures, maybe a little heads up is nice. I mean,
I'll tell you what though, like growing up in the Hard Knocks 80s, like no one gave a fuck about anybody's safety or I'm serious. Like, this whole nonsense of we have to, put pads on everybody's life and it's like, just take some responsibility, bro. I mean, in Hungary, there's a roller coaster that doesn't even stop to let you on. Like, that's the kind of stuff I grew up going to. Like, let's go to the park. It was called Vidam Park. And you go and the roller coaster slows down just enough so that the person can jump out and you jump in and there's not even like a seat belt or none of this horse shit, right? Not a strap. No, there was like a thin, rusty metal bar that didn't even go down to your lap. It was like in front of you. And they're like, well, you better hold on, asshole, if you want to ride. There was no lines for bumper cars. What are you talking lines? Everybody huddles around in a circle and then the ride stops and then you bum rush. Everybody runs and throws a person out of the seat. Like, savagery. That's how I was raised. Like, this fucking generation is doomed. Doomed. You know what I ordered online? I ordered a Sesame Street activity book from the 70s, 1976, bro. This is the year I was born, 76. They have the best activities. Activities where kids use scissors. Oh, fuck, yeah. Ooh, scissors. And there was one activity. It was like find a bleach bottle, empty out, take the bleach out. Didn't even say like wash it out. It was like, just take that bleach bottle, get some scissors, cut it in half. Make a bird feeder. Like, what? That's what I'm talking about, people. That's Gen X, bro. Now, the problem with our generation, us Gen Xers, is that, yeah, that was way too dangerous, but now we're raising snowflakes, right? Everybody, we overcorrected. That's why everybody's, all these kids are goddamn weenies. But I don't know. Actually, the millennials I hang out with are pretty cool. But we don't have to shelter everybody from everything. Really, the warning about the seizures. You can't watch Stranger Things. They have seizures. Fuck off. And don't watch the show. Bunch of crybabies, as far as I'm concerned. We didn't cater to everybody's feelings, is what I'm saying. We just didn't. And I understand in this era of inclusiveness, it's a wonderful idea. And that's just what post-modernity wanted. And I studied this stuff in college in the 90s. The postmodern movement was that there was a bunch of little narratives. There's not one meta-narrative. There's not one white male patriarchal thing. I get it. There's lots of voices in the world. But guess what? A lot of those voices are really a small percentage of the fucking population. You know what I mean? 0.00001% of the people watching are having seizures. So I'm cool if we don't have to be inclusive on every GD thing. Okay, moving along. Let's do the dad win. Oh, is this a voicemail?
Yeah, this is the one the guy submitted it as a fail, but you're saying that it's an actual win.
Yeah,
right?
guys, a lot of these, it's so funny because I think culturally, if you're not doing it perfectly, it's called a fail, which is why I love these, because this is actually just called the reality of parenting. And this is called survival, bitch, because none of us know what we're doing and we're all just surviving. So this is great. Let's play this one. I like it.
Hey, mommies. This is Arnell Maneri from Atlanta, Georgia. And I got a mom, a dad fail for you guys, mom, dad. So I was watching the kids. I have 3 boys. It's 6, 4, and 2. And this was last year. The 4-year-old was getting potty trained. He comes, we're at the park. He comes to me and he's like, Daddy, I have to go potty right now. And he's freaking out. There's no bathroom close enough. And I'm like, there's nobody here, just us. Go in that bush right there and go pee. So he goes, and then I watch him go. He's in the bush. I watch the other kids, they're fine. I turn around, and he's squatting, taking a shit behind the bush. And I can't, I don't want to panic. I didn't panic, so, because if you panic,
yeah,
they're going to think, I can't poop anymore. It's all going to go backwards or whatever. So I let him finish, and I just leave the shit there. I don't pick it up. He's not a dog. So, whatever. We just move on and we go home after that. Anyways, thanks. Taking my call. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Could you imagine being the person that stumbles upon that and those poops are like, whoa, I don't know what's up with these coyotes in this park, but this is crazy. Oh my God. He's got a good point though. It's not quite a dog, right? And I'm sure he didn't carry bags with him. Like, maybe you should now.
I mean, what would you do if you saw Ellis doing that in the park?
Well, he's right. You can't be like, don't poop, buddy, because now you're toilet training, so you want to constantly reinforce. Like, you want to be doing cartwheels when your kid poops not in their diaper. Like, I'm glad you said your boy is 4, because our boy is 3.5 and we're starting the process. And I'll be like, do you want to go poop, buddy? He'll be ready to do it. He's like, do you want to go poop? He goes, no, I want to do it in the diaper. I want you to clean it up. I'm like, okay. Like, he literally says, I want you to clean it up. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. I would too, because it's awesome. Your life is awesome right now. And I literally do say that to him. I'm like, I get it. It's pretty awesome. So what do you do? Yeah, you let I don't know. What I would do is I'd be like, great job, buddy. I'm real proud of you. You took a dump, but next time let's try to hold it for the toilet, or let's try to do it in a toilet, maybe. You kind of suggest the toilet idea. Because truth be told, they kind of poo where they want to a lot. It's like you're lucky if it gets in the toilet. Hey, I wouldn't clean it up either. Sometimes I don't pick up dog poop. I'm one of those people. I fake it. Sometimes I fake pick up dog poop. you ever, but only when I walk the dog and then I don't have the bag, I forget it, and then the neighbor comes out and I've done it where I've pretended to pick up the dog food. I like pantomime it, I'm like, what? Anyway, okay, that was awesome. That was so much fun. Do we have more fails that I want to read? Let me see. Hold on. I don't want to read any more poop stuff. You guys have submitted so many poop stories because that is the majority of parenting is a lot of poop stuff. I don't want to do, that's gross. No, I don't know. Ew, this one's so gross. So many vibrator stories. Y'all nasty grown-ups need to lock up your vibrators. Get your mom and your dad drawer. Lock up your sex toys. Lock up your weed. Lock it up because... Okay, this is great. My son was a little over a year, and he put my recently used vibrator in his mouth. I want to scrub it from my brain and hate myself for leaving it on the floor post-coitus. It was covered in stuff. He would die if he ever found out, and I am a bit dead from having been so careless. I am disgusting. Yes, you are, bitch. You nasty as hell. You are so nasty. First of all, who uses the and then you're like, we're done. You don't just leave stuff on the floor because that's my biggest fear is like I'm done and then it's the cleaning lady, it's your kid, your dog is licking it or whatever. Like, so your kid licked it? Is that what a vibrator in his? Thank God they're natural juices. You know what I mean? Like it's organic. I know so many of your moms are into the organic. It's so disgusting. Where are we? Oh, let's do, I want to do these. Yeah. Let's do, there's so many great, okay, so let's get a little cereal here. I want to get a little, not just, have a real, hold on. Where is that? No. Sorry, here we go. Anyway,
I think
which one is it?
The one that you're looking at, it might be on the side.
On which side, Mom?
Look to the left of you.
Oh, no, that's a mom fail.
Like I think it's just by itself.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, the question is, this woman had. I will just let you know. The person asked.
Maybe it's on the other side of the laptop. It looks like there's some pages.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, is this it? No, I'll tell you what the person asked me. Basically, they asked if I was having. If I had postpartum depression, and basically what does that look like? And the answer is yes, 1,000 times yes. And I want to do an entire episode on postpartum depression because I'm not sure that the literature and that the way it's portrayed in the culture, I'll tell you in a minute exactly what it is. The way that postpartum depression is portrayed and explained in the culture is not, at least for me, when I was endlessly Googling in the middle of the night, like, do I have this? It just didn't seem like it fit me. So postpartum depression, I think could be in the year or two, even after you have a child. There's a physiological thing that happens. Your hormones are all wackadooded out when you're pregnant, and then you give birth, and literally everything inside of you comes rushing out. And your hormone levels go bonkers, bananas. Everything is crazy, right? So you have that physiological response. And if it's your first child, there comes the panic of not knowing often what to do. And so it's called, my shrink calls it maternal anxiety, heightened maternal anxiety. So there's this thing called maternal preoccupation, which is how babies stay alive, right? You care about your baby. You think about them a lot. You want to ensure the survival of this little creature. But then when maternal preoccupation goes wonky and into anxiety, which is where I was at, it is a life ruiner. So what happened was, at least with me, I'll tell you how I felt. I was depressed, but that's kind of normal because I think that was always my baseline in life. I think I've always had like a little low grade depression. But and not to say that like you, and that's another thing. So the baby comes out and everybody around you is thrilled, right? They're like, "Oh my God, this is a miracle! Yeah, that's a miracle, a miracle!" And you're like, "Yeah, it is. Yes, I love my baby more than life itself. This is a miracle. This is crazy." But at the same time, I am crippled by anxiety, and I would have a lot of irrational thoughts like, "What if I drop the baby?" And you become preoccupied. At least I did. I was looping on, what if I drop the baby? What if the baby gets sick? Oh my gosh. Like the first few times my children have been sick, it would throw me into like full panic attack, PTSD. Like, I don't know what that, and a lot of that stems from my own childhood stuff. Cause my mom, when I would get sick, would overreact. Right. So that was my template for motherhood, was my mom. So a lot of preoccupation, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, mostly anxiety, and like it can last, like I said, anywhere for like a year or two up until after you have the baby. And it sucks because, like I said, the culture tells you this should be like the happiest time in your life, and the doctors would ask me questions like, "Do you feel sad?" And you're like, "Well, I mean, I kind of always do, and I guess I'm tired," because you're tired on top of it because you're not really sleeping a lot after you have your baby. So you just assume it's part of that, chaos of having a newborn. But the shit is real, man. And I just remember my anxiety was it was constant. Like I would wake up. I do what's known as hypervigilance. That's what I had. Like I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up every few hours preoccupied with, is a baby, where's the baby, where's the baby? And then I'd wake up at like 5 a.m. every morning, and I would run through the day. And I would go, okay, I gotta make the baby's food, and then I gotta feed the dog, and then I gotta feed the toddler, and then I gotta let the dog out. And then I would like try to preemptively do things. So I would run that. I would run tragedies in my head. If my baby had the sniffles, it's pneumonia, the kid is dying, he's on a respirator, ventilator, whatever. Like everything was really, really, really heightened for me. So if you feel like this sounds familiar to you and you just had a kid, or maybe you had a kid even a year ago, yes, it's real. It's not your imagination. And a lot of moms in their first year get depressed just because you haven't slept in 2 years, like really slept. Because when you're pregnant, you're not sleeping. So that's 9 months of not sleeping. Then you have the baby, you're really not sleeping for like a year and a half, 2, until that kid's really a toddler and sleeping through the night well. So yeah, and a lot of moms I know just get depressed. Like, I mean, who wouldn't be kind of bummed out after taking care of an infant for months and months and months? That's why I'm telling you, my kid's first birthday is next week. Let me tell you what I'm doing. We're going to have a bar, catering, like balloons. I'm going to have a fucking fire truck because I'm celebrating that I am out of the woods. We no longer have an infant, we have a toddler. And to me, it's like we made it, and you just got to make it to that first year, and I guarantee it's going to get a lot better. So yeah, it's normal. And so my friend got on Lexapro. That's how I found out that you can just take drugs. I shouldn't say it like that, but that I was going to my therapist, and my therapist was like, "You should come in twice a week." And I was like, "Yep. How about 5 times a week? Can I call you?" I'm like, every day, because I'm fucking losing my mind. And then what happened was the anxiety was just getting so much that I wasn't enjoying anything anymore. I wasn't sleeping. Like I would come and do your mom's house, and I would still, like, that was the only time I felt remotely normal, but I couldn't concentrate on anything. Like I would read things 5 times and I couldn't concentrate. So I went to see a psychiatrist. So that's what you have to see to get put on any kind of medicine or whatever. A psychiatrist can prescribe something for you, and that's just will lift whatever it is you're going through, man. Like for me, it was the anxiety and the depression. So she put me on a drug that just lifted that, just a little, so that I wasn't so in panic and PTSD and panic all day, every day, and the adrenaline. And that's another thing. Your body is washed with adrenaline when you're in anxiety, which is not good for decision making, which is not good for like parenting, because now you're always in like fight or flight. That's horrible. So the medicine will just lift, an SSRI, whatever, just a little bit. And then now I went to see my shrink, and because I was calm, we could really get to the heart of darkness of what was really bothering me. Because, yeah, a lot of times those responses you're having, I spoke with somebody yesterday who, during birth, relived her sexual trauma, meaning like when she was in the delivery room and there were all these hands on her lady bits, it triggered her childhood or whatever sexual traumas. And so that threw her into postpartum depression. And a lot of times we don't know why or what's going on. So please go to a therapist. Go get real help. Have your therapist refer you to a psychiatrist if you need it, if you're looping and you can't even deal, which is how bad I was. It was just nutty. And it sucks because I was hoping the second baby would be easier. It was actually worse. The first time with Ellis, I just assumed that was how it went. Like, you have a baby and now you're just crazy all the time and I can't sleep. That's fine. So then with the second one, because I had been in therapy a bit longer, I was like, oh, this is not normal. I should probably get help. Because a lot of people with PTSD don't get help. That's kind of the horribleness of it. To people who've been, traumatized from childhood stuff. Like, a lot of us don't get help. You don't ask for help. You just power through it. You white knuckle through your life. And that is so bad for you and for your children and for your marriage. And because you know what? Guess what? If you're a woman listening or a man listening and you have PTSD or you have trauma or whatever, your spouse suffers too because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They just know that their poor, loved one is screwed up. So there you go. I want to do a whole episode on postpartum depression because I think it's so important. Because I remember Oprah did something in the 90s with like Brooke Shields came on. And that was like, women were like, their heads were exploding in the audience. Like, Brooke Shields had postpartum depression. A supermodel has depression. It was so fucking great. Okay. I'm going to do a phone call. I'm going to call. Up next is, but here, let me read this email, which is going to segue into it. This is from Viviana. What a beautiful name. She goes, aside from...
You got mom questions? CP's got mom answers. What would Christina P do?
I want to talk over my cool stingers. Whatever. So this lady writes, Viviana, not this lady. Aside from work, quote, passion, how have you not lost touch of who you are as a person? Love you. I love you, Deanna. Yeah, huge question. And I'm going to call Deanna and we're going to talk about this because she and I were DMing on the gram about this very phenomenon. So let's see if she's available. Watch this cool technology here. Is this working, Mommy? Oh, she's hoping her baby cooperates during this call. We all know that.
Hello.
Oh, Mommy Deanna.
Hi.
Hi, Jeans. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited.
Dude, I've been following you and your whole story on the gram where we DM. And
I know.
What happened? So,
years.
Yeah, you were in LA and then you got knocked up.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah. And then you moved home, I'm assuming?
Well, I moved home and then I got knocked up.
Okay. Great. So now you're home. Do you have, and you have a baby? How old is your boo-boo?
She'll be 8 months this weekend.
Oh.
It's flying by.
It is flying by, right? And how's it going for you so far?
It's good. I think I just recently found my rhythm.
Yeah.
And it took, that long.
Yeah, like what? Like your rhythm, meaning like a baby schedule, or just how to adapt to being a mom?
Oh God, there's no schedule. Definitely, my child is a wild child. Like, I knew pretty much from when I was pregnant that she was going to be a handful. I could just tell. So yeah, I think mostly just adapting to be a mom, being a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I don't live in a state with any family. So, yeah, we moved out of state and left all of our family with no intention of having a baby. And then 2 weeks after we moved to Atlanta, we found out that I was pregnant. So we were like, all right, well, we're here now and we're doing this. So we've just been kind of winging it and making it work. So there has been like a learning curve, to say the least. And I am like the village. Like everyone's like, oh, well, it takes a village to raise a baby. Well, I am the village. Like, my husband goes to work for 10 to 12 hours a day.
Oh, my God. I mean...
But so that's what I'm saying. Like, we're just starting to get our groove. And I think as soon as you get your groove, they go through some new development, change, and then you lose your groove.
100%. And it'll come in disciplining too. Like you'll figure out how to finagle, how to convince your toddler to do something. And then they'll be like, fuck you, that's dumb. And then they'll figure you out and you'll figure them out. So how are you? So yeah. So because you're just so in it right now, could you describe to the listeners what having a baby for the first time is like? And not just the physical labor. I mean, emotionally, what is it like?
The first word or phrase that comes to mind truly is like, it's a clusterfuck. It's so much. And I guess, so I was listening to your episode yesterday and I laughed because I already knew I was going to talk to you, and I heard you guys say this yesterday, and I was like, all right, I got to preface. I love my daughter more than anything.
Of course.
So going into this, I love her, but like some days I want to put her outside and then go back inside and close the door and just leave her there.
Of course. Some days you want to throw that baby in the river, and then you're like, and then they smile at you, right? Or they laugh and they giggle, or they call you mommy, and then you're like, this is great. Let's do this again. Let's have 10 more.
I haven't experienced some mommy yet, but I'm done for. But yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it thrusts you into a different phase of yourself. Even if you're not ready, you have to all of a sudden be ready.
And you're young.
So I wasn't ready. Yeah, I consider myself a young mom. I'm not a teen mom or anything, but I'm still in my 20s.
Right. Which is, you know,
28.
You're 28. Okay, so you're just on the cusp of like, at least when I was a 28-year-old, of really coming into being an adult. That's still a formative time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up fast, so I didn't have like a normal growing up, but I think I'm still a young mom. Like when I live in like the suburbs of Atlanta, so when I'm out and about doing mom things, I don't really identify with like suburbia mom, because most of them are like mid-30s, and I'm over here like a teeny bopper.
Yeah,
pushing my stroller around.
You're a legit cool mom. You're like the kind of mom I'm trying to be. Hello. No, but so that's what we were kind of talking about, you and I, is like, I think there sometimes can be a societal expectation or a cultural expectation or a neighborhood expectation of what a mom is supposed to be like, act like, look like, sound like. And it sounds like you're kind of, is that what you're struggling with right now?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it might really have to do with where I live. So culturally, I live in a very suburb part of Atlanta. So, you know, if I lived somewhere else with maybe a younger culture who were moms, it might be totally different, and I can't speak on behalf of that. But for where I currently live, being a young mom, I would dare to say it's been an identity crisis.
Yeah.
And
you got to move back to Alabama. Aren't there like 15-year-old moms? Isn't that where Teen Mom is centered? No.
I would never go back.
No, I'm just kidding.
I will never go back to Alabama. I made that mistake one time, and I'm not doing it again.
So you think it's cultural, but I think you're right too. Like it could be your neighborhood, but I think too, at least like you just said that you grew up pretty fast. Like, what was your childhood like? What was your mom like?
Pretty similar to your story. I think that's why I've connected with you so much.
Yeah. So those of you know, my mother was a borderline. She had borderline personality disorder, which makes them very split, black and white thinking. You're the best, you're the worst, stuff like that. So she was abusive and mean and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So I think.
And so you see my story, and I'm pretty transparent about it. I grew up in just a way that I hope my daughter never does. I started doing drugs when I was really, really, really young, and I struggled really, really hard as an adolescent and as a young teen. I actually never wanted to be a mom for this reason, that I just like didn't want to continue on passing this down to anyone else.
Oh, 100%. That was my fear for so many. That's why I put it off for so long, because I'm like, I'm going to mess them up. They're going to be crazy. It's going to be horrible, blah, blah, blah. But I think that puts pressure on people like you and like people that come from families that weren't ideal. Then you start going like, well, what is it to be a good mom? You know, do I have to be perfect? Do I have to be June Cleaver? Do I have to like bake cupcakes and do all the activities I'm supposed to do? Do I have to dress a certain way? Do you have like role models that you can look to, like good mom role models?
I actually was just talking to my husband about that last night, and I was getting a little like emotional, teary-eyed, because I think I realized yesterday, no, I don't. And being a mom now, it makes it hard to find the time. But so I have a degree in psychology, and like those textbooks, those are my role models.
Oh,
so
wow.
the things that I've learned, like that is how I've learned how to be a parent.
Which is probably the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think I've done a pretty great job, especially as being like a young mom on my own, raising a child without having help or role models. I think I'm doing okay. She's alive still.
Yep. You did it, girl. Especially alone. Oh my God.
But I obviously I have my husband, but it's a lot.
Yeah, of course, if he's working 10 to 12 hours a day, he's not up with the baby all night if the baby's sick. You are, and it's always mom. Like, let's be honest. It's mom who does the breastfeeding. It's mom who's responsible for keeping everybody alive and going at the end of the fucking day.
And the paradox is that they come out and they look exactly like your husband. And it's like...
It's the worst, isn't it?
He doesn't look anything like me. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I was there, I wouldn't even believe that she was mine. So I did all the work. I carried her. I labored her. I feed her. I still breastfeed. And I'm like, but you look just like him. I don't get anything. And then she just started saying dad. So.
To add insult to injury. I know I was just saying earlier, I was talking earlier on this episode saying how the best part about having children is when they look like you. It's so narcissistic because you're like, this is awesome. Like this kid looks, and you hold it over your husband's head. So, but you never know. That kid could turn around and look just like you in a year, which is what happened with our babies. Yeah.
Just a little glimmer of that, like, oh, this is all for something.
Yeah, dude. It is. It is for something. Don't worry. So, were you talking about a sense of losing touch of who you are, right? Of like who you were before kids and who you are after, and you're not the same person. Like it's like becoming a vampire.
I think it's actually like impossible to be the same person.
Yeah. No, I agree.
To an extent.
Yeah. No, it literally is like, it's like becoming a vampire, and now you have to like, I don't want to use that analogy because that implies that you're dead inside, but that you, you know what I mean? But now you're a part of this other world kind of thing, I
think it's a rebirth process.
Yeah. Yes.
So you kind of do die inside a little bit.
Right.
Some parts of myself will always be gone, but not all of them.
Right.
I think parts of myself that needed to be gone are now gone, for me personally.
Like what?
Immaturities. I changed my lifestyle around really quickly because I found out I was pregnant in a time that I wasn't trying to be pregnant. I wasn't trying to grow up. I was 27 when I got pregnant, so I was trying to be 27.
Right.
And to find out you're pregnant when you're not trying to be pregnant, you don't really I guess you have a choice to not change your lifestyle, but that wasn't how I did it. Like, I had to clean my life up. I had to stop partying and be a little more responsible and kind of put someone before myself. And that has made a huge impact. But that's also, that kind of, has a part in what I had said about the identity crisis, because that's not the stuff that I'm sad about losing or that I'm even struggling with. Like, I'm happy to let that stuff go. I was kind of clinging on to an immature party lifestyle because I had nothing else to live for. And now I do. So I don't really miss that stuff.
Right.
But I think more so what you had told me talk about was that for me, when I was 27, which is still very young in the mom world, I found out I was pregnant, and I remember thinking, or saying, actually, I'm going to have to get rid of all my clothes. I'm going to have to get new clothes. Like, I can't wear any of these clothes when I'm a mom.
I know. Well, that's why I joke about being a cool mom. Like, clearly I'm not, but it is this weird identity shift where you're like, because especially when you have multiple, like now I'm in 2 kids. Like, bro, I'm a mom through and through. Like, I'm not cool anymore. Like, there's nothing I can do that that's going to be remotely cool. Like before, you know what I mean?
I think I still identify with my cool self. And the other day, I have an almost 8-month-old. And the other day I said I was a mom and I was like, I'm a mom.
I know, but like, I feel like, and here's the flip side. The good side to that is embracing your rad momness. Like I'm gonna.
That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Now I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Not giving an F and being like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna rock that fanny pack. I'm gonna put some sparkle on this shit. Like I'm gonna buy flashy shoes. I'm gonna put bedazzling on my fanny pack. I'm gonna wear pink now, dude. I don't give a rip. Right?
There are days that I still leave the house looking completely like unkept. I look homeless some days.
Of course.
But then there's other days that I leave the house and I go grocery shopping in a crop top because I'm like, because why not? Like,
hell yeah.
I don't want to die inside anymore.
But it's also part of it, I think, might be the expectation of what a good mom is. Like maybe you and I have this idealized version because we had shitty moms, right? Or just mentally ill moms who couldn't hold it together. I think for me anyways, I go, well, good moms don't wear crop tops or good moms don't, wear
good
flashy.
Moms are like Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
They're like at home baking everybody something and like driving you to soccer practice with all your friends. And I'll never be, I don't know. But I don't think I'm going to be that mom because that's just not me.
Right.
And I don't think I have to jeopardize or, sacrifice all these parts of myself in order to be a mom. But I did think I did have to. So
yeah, me too.
I had said, I was like, oh God, I got to shop at Gap now and cut all my hair off. I have really, really long hair.
I know it's like
I actually told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna have to cut it all off. It's time. I'm
your
a mom
hair.
now.
You got to get the mom haircut. You got to do the
up to my shoulders.
Yeah.
Which I will say, it would, I think, be easier.
It is easier.
It would.
Dude,
she stopped throwing up in my hair every day. But at one point I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, I tell you, I would still have long hair, but my hair got so dry and brittle after my second kid. Like, they suck all the nutrients out of you, babies.
There's that level of, uncontrollable hormonal things that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's like, you know what? It's all chaos, at least in the beginning. And I hear it does settle, at least, Ellis is almost 4, right? He's 3.5. And it does settle down, but in the beginning, just survive, I feel like, and do what makes you happy and like, F all the haters, if there are, but maybe the haters are in our head. Maybe the hater is us,
I don't think so.
No?
I think there's definitely I think they call them mom bullies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Those moms that are just lurking and like waiting to see you slip up and then call you a bad mom.
Tell me,
I'm sure there's people who see me and think like, well, she should be more attentive to her mom or to her child, instead of doing the things that she's doing. Like, I don't think you're allowed to have hobbies or interests or any. I don't even think you're allowed to have a relationship with your spouse, according to like the mom bullies.
I think you're right.
I think I actually let that expectation control a lot of parts of myself. I mean, newborn life is just truly miserable. I don't ever want to do it again, even though I plan to. It's so hard. So I'm not in newborn life anymore, and I would never have hobbies or interests if I was still with my newborn, because you
can't.
You barely even have time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no.
But now I'm coming out of I think yesterday you guys called it the dark forest.
Yeah.
Or I was listening to it yesterday.
Yeah.
So now it's like I get to date my spouse again.
Ooh.
And I get to be myself again.
Well, dude,
and she's gonna be okay.
If you want to really get your mom life back, and I'm not gonna fucking tell anybody what to do, but it helped me. Get that baby on a schedule, bro. Get that baby on a schedule. There's a book.
She's pretty good. She's
good? All right. Then does she nap regularly? You got that sweet nap time still?
Yeah,
Oh.
napping regularly. I get a lot of free time to do my own thing. I'm finally
forget it.
painting again and reading books again. And my house is clean for the most part again. But it took, that long and the greater portion of a year to get to that point. And I did not feel like myself when I was pregnant, because how can you? I was not one of those people that loved being pregnant. I did not 1 second of being pregnant.
You mean you didn't have baby bliss, like when the Kardashians get pregnant and then they're on the cover of People magazine just smiling ear to ear, like this is.
I think I was
beautiful.
like morbidly depressed.
Yeah. Were you really?
The opposite. Oh God, yeah. I hated being pregnant. There was no like, oh, this is a miracle. No, it was torture for me.
Were you sick a lot?
No, I wasn't sick at all. I just didn't love the idea of being pregnant. And this is also going back into like, I didn't want to be a mom. I wasn't ready to be a mom.
Of course.
I thought the pregnancy was always really weird. Like, to grow a life inside of you is pretty weird.
It's bananas.
And then I really didn't want to breastfeed. I was like, oh,
I know.
That was so weird to me. And I didn't want to give birth. Like, all of this stuff was just so not my scene, not my speed. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, you're such a baby. Your body was designed to do these things. I was just being selfish. I didn't want to share my body with anyone else. But rightfully so, because it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one reason I wanted to do this podcast, is to explore the ambivalence with pregnancy and motherhood. And I think the party line, the cultural line is that once pregnancy is bliss, you should enjoy every minute of it, because there are women out there who can't get pregnant, and God damn it, you better enjoy it. And giving birth is natural, and everybody's great at it, and it's a wonderful miracle, and you should enjoy that. And then you should enjoy your baby, because it's fantastic. Breastfeeding's a breeze. I think there is this just a lot of uncomfortability with ambivalence, meaning having two conflicting feelings at the same time. I learned that in therapy, that you can feel like you love your child, but at the same time you're terrified, or maybe you don't enjoy all parts of it all the time. Because I don't think women are taught that. Like, we're not, it's not, at least it was not explained to me. I just saw like Claire Huxtable, just like, like it's great. Everything's great. Or, even Roseanne, I think, was so revolutionary because she was the first mom on television to imply that maybe her children annoyed her every now and then. And that was in the 90s, So.
Right. I think that causes other moms like us to have mom guilt, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
So you see these other moms who love being pregnant, and it's like, well, why didn't I love being pregnant? I guess I'm the weirdo who didn't love being pregnant. I'm not going to vocalize it. But I think for the vast majority, we don't love being pregnant.
A lot of people don't.
Or whatever. We don't love breastfeeding, or, not everyone has like an easy peasy time and all of these things, but it's the ones who speak up and had a 1 hour labor and breastfed with, ease, that make the rest of us too afraid to be like, well, that's not how it went for me.
Yeah. I agree. And like you said, there's a lot of mom shamers out there who, I remember I posted a picture of me just being tired on the couch and being like, I cannot wait until my husband comes home. I'm alone with the children. And there are these women out there who are like, well, then you shouldn't have kids. If you're tired or you don't like, it's like, wait, you mean to tell me that you love every minute of everything you do all the time?
Right. So it's like, you don't get tired of your kids ever, because I can't wait for nap time.
Oh, it's the best, isn't it?
It's like a few hours that I don't have to listen to Elmo's World or screeching or having someone claw at me or breastfeed.
Right. I 100%. I'm like, but how many hours did your baby nap? You're so lucky.
Lately it's been great, but I'm going to jinx myself, and then tomorrow she's not going to take a nap.
Fuck. Wait until they drop their naps. Oh man.
I don't have a child who sleeps through the night. So.
Oh, okay. So she kills it during the day, which is good.
Yeah, but I think almost that like I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Because during the day, I've got a lot of things I need to get done with only 2 hands.
Right.
So,
oh, girl.
Please sleep during the day. Like, I'll survive the night.
Are you cleaning your own house? Everything? You're doing everything?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Girl. All right, I'm going to send you a surprise or something. I need to help you.
For the most part.
I'm going to help you out. I'm going to hook you up with something, man. I'm fucking helping you.
Like 8 months jungle gym. It's just like baby surfaces everywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. Because you've been doing everything and you've been running around, I will say you lost all your baby weight and you look fucking amazing. So, congrats.
That is the trade-off, I will say.
You look amazing.
I work to get rid of that because I don't want to be stuck in like the saggy, soggy mom.
I don't either. And can I tell you something? And I know it's so un-PC. You're supposed to like, don't fat shame people and you should accept and love yourself. Like, yes. Yeah, I love and accept the fact that I'm 15 pounds overweight right now, but I'm not going to keep it that way. I'm working my butt off trying to get to a decent weight because I don't like how it feels being fat. And I'm goddamn fat right now. I don't like it. You know what I mean? And it's good to not like being fat. Yeah, girl.
I think I realized that politically correctness is also mommy correctness. So I think I'm terming that because
I like that.
You should love your mommy body because it gave life, but I can love the fact that I gave life and not love what it did to my body.
Preach. God damn. Oprah never said that shit on her show. That is right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. You can love what you did. It doesn't mean that you love your hangy, sogging mom tits, you know? I got big.
Definitely not. No, breastfeeding was not kind to your tits, ever.
No, I got fucking gorilla tits. Here's what I do. I was going to give you, I was just thinking, so you know how like, okay, for instance, at my school, sometimes they mom shame and inadvertently like, well, is Ellis going to come to the summer festival this Wednesday at 9 p.m. because he practiced the song? I'm like, no, he's asleep at 7:30, first of all, or whatever, like inane thing. Well, are you going to make crafts for all the kids for Valentine's Day? Like I remember it was Valentine's Day. They're giving them out to and a lot of parents are hand making them. I go, really? Because I'm going to go to Rite Aid and I'm going to buy him a box of Valentines that we used to have in the 80s and he's going to hand those out. Like I told the teacher explicitly, like, I'm not that mom, bro. Like I don't have that kind of time. But what I will do, like, you want me to donate to something? Here's $20. You want me to, come and I don't know, chaperone a party? Yeah, dude, but I'm not going to like craft. That's not the kind of mom I am. So go fuck yourself, basically. And now they know. I don't say that. Like, I'm not going to fucking bring cupcakes for the whole class. I'm not going to bake cookies for it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I'll give you $20 for your fucking craft table or whatever. Sorry, I coughed into your mic. Anyways, well, I'm glad to hear that you're bouncing back. You're almost at a year. The year mark is when everything gets a lot easier, at least for me. It's my, you got a toddler.
I don't know. I'm scared in hearing other moms who have like toddler age, like potty training age, talking age. I don't know if it gets easier. I think it gets harder.
Yeah, to me, the newborn era is the hardest. Personally, it was the most emotionally horrible. So everything else has been gravy. And I like them when they talk. I like talking to them and hearing their thoughts. And I enjoy it when my toddler freaks out. I'm like, yeah, put a fucking brick in it, bro. Like, I like his fire. Yeah,
I haven't been there yet. I don't miss newborn. I definitely don't. But there are days where, when she was a newborn, she would just sleep on my chest for hours, and I would be stuck to the couch watching Netflix all day, and I used to be just enraged that I had to sit here and watch Netflix all day, and now I'm like, please, sleep on my chest so I can watch Netflix.
I know. But here's the neat part. Eventually you can just put the TV on and watch a movie, and then they'll chill.
Yeah, I don't think 8 months is that same.
No, by a year, they'll want to watch cartoons. And then when they get sick, they'll want to lay on you again, and that's cute, too.
Yeah, I like the cuddles. I'm not looking forward to the independence, I think, because then I have to really watch her all the time.
Oh, yeah, and then they start walking.
the theme of motherhood is that you really never like get the hang of it. Like I'll be winging it forever because as soon as you get the hang of it, something changes.
Yeah, that's true. But
so I'm sure that's probably the same with yourself. Like as soon as you figure yourself out, something is going to change. So you're going to have to figure it all out again.
Yeah, 100%. And I honestly, I prefer the intellectual challenge of parenting to the physical part. Because the first couple of years, it's the physical. Like, it's just the grind of, like, keeping this being alive and well. And then when they get older, they get clever. And now you're kind of working on the mental part. And that part I enjoy a lot more, personally. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think I'll like that part. I will miss the baby. I love the baby smell. And the squishiness and the cuddles and the gummy smile. I'm losing the gummy smile.
I love the gummy
now. So the gummy smile is like, it's a fleeting moment for me, and I will miss that. Like I sniff her like she's a drug. Like I'm huffing glue all day. Like I'm just sniffing her.
They don't have breath. Like they don't have bad smells, babies.
So I love their breath. It's like little sweet milk breath.
It's the cutest. Juju's got these chunky legs and feet. I have to buy special shoes because his feet are too fat to fit into regular, kid-size shoes. He's so fat. He's got like cookie dough feet. It's the fucking best.
You've seen my daughter. She's on the larger scale.
They're the best. Fat babies are the best.
No, they really are.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're out of the woods, and celebrate that, dude. Be proud of your momness.
Oh, I am. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. And if anyone is ashamed of it, it's just perpetuating the issue that we're talking about here. And so I hope that your podcast achieves that, if nothing else, to like get the message out to other moms. It's like, it's okay to feel these ways.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I knew I felt really alone when Ellis was born, and I had these feelings and thoughts, and I looked all over for a podcast where women would just be honest about it, and I didn't find it. Yeah. I know. I felt, and that made me feel even worse. And I'm like, I must be this horrible person because I have these conflicted feelings about something so sacred, and like, it's ridiculous, man. But we can love our kids.
I think a lot of people feel this way.
I think so.
They're just too afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get into it. We'll get deep on all that stuff and help people. Yep. Okay. Well, I love you. I think you're fantastic. I'm going to send you some kind of a surprise.
You. You know I do.
Yeah, you're the best. And I'm happy to hear you're in Atlanta. Sorry, I didn't realize you'd moved. So good for you.
Oh, yeah. I got the hell out of Alabama. Thank God.
And the guy is good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good.
I locked him down.
Hey, girl. God. All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Are you kidding me? This was like amazing to talk to you. I'm honored you're even wanting to be on my show. And I love
of course.
You.
I've been there from the start. I mean, I'm sad to say that Deep Row is gone, but I get it.
I know. You know what happened? Honestly, that show kind of ran its course for me, and I got to be like brutally honest. I was getting emails that I was not qualified to answer. About people's and I was like, you know what? Let's give Dr. Drew a show. Who is highly qualified. So actually, guys, if you have questions that are kind of That's Deep Bro adjacent, email Dr. Drew, because there's a guy who knows about trauma and who knows about therapy and addiction and everything. Yeah, it's Dr. Drew After Dark at gmail.com. That's DRDREWAFTERDARK at gmail.com. And tell him, like, dude, I used to listen to That's Deep Bro. I have this question. I think he's way more qualified than a dopey comedian to talk about anybody's problems. All right, Deanna, thank you so much. Go back to your little baby. Have your dinner. It's probably dinner time for you.
It is. Thanks, Christina.
All right,
love you, Mommy.
I love you too, Mommy. Take care. Bye. How special was that? I feel like I've known her since she was a little baby, that girl. All right, should we close on something fun? Oh, I'll close the laptop. My Nadav told me that. Let's do one. Is there a fun mom fail? Have we forgotten somebody or anything?
Oh, we have one more fun segment for you.
Oh.
I'm definitely doing this wrong, right?
So
okay.
we have two voicemails for you, and this could be the fun stuff to end on.
Okay, let's end on something positive.
Hey, Mommy. Trevor here. I'm actually trying to get my wife pregnant so that she can become a mom. And I'm just wondering, what is the best sexual position for us to be in so that I could blow my hot load in her and get her pregnant? Thank you so much.
Why do I love the voicemails from the men so much? You guys are fucking savage, bro. This is the only savage mom show out there. It's so funny. No women are going to listen to this podcast. You know that. This is going to be like the mom show for dudes because everybody's like, oh, blow my hot load. Every woman right now is like, click, turn that off. This is my problem in life. I'm a dirtbag. I'm a dirt, and I like dirtbag stuff. So it's never going to be an audience for me. Okay. All right, physicians. Hey, man, as far as I know, you want to get deep penetration so you can blow your hot load as far up the vaginal canal as possible. From what I understand, doggy position is shallow penetration. I think good old-fashioned missionary? Yeah, let's Google it. That might be a question for Dr. Drew to answer, but let's see. I think it's good old-fashioned missionary because your parts fit together nicely and you can deliver that load. Now, more importantly than positioning, okay, here we go. Here's some pictures of stick figures effing. Ugh, this is so gross. Nobody wants to see pregnant people having sex.
I tried.
Ugh, yeah. At least I want to see me. I'm picturing Tom and I effing. That's why I'm looking at that like, we're so fat. I think, okay, so here's the deal, man. More important than position is timing. Timing, as Steve Martin would say. Timing. God, this high, you're so bad. We'll fix this next time. Is the timing. So there's only 4 days, a 4-day window a woman can get pregnant. That's the truth of it. So you got to have her test her ovulation. Get those ovulation kits. You get these stupid sticks from Rite Aid and she pees on them, okay? And then if the stick tells you go F, that's when you go F. It tells you when you're fertile. Because otherwise, you're busting nuts for nothing. So you make sure that those nuts you're busting are beneficial nuts. Now also, little trade secret, this is how I got preggers with Ellis. You want to be busting nuts about a day or two before she ovulates. Okay, you hear me? 1 or 2 days, bang every day in that window, 1 or 2 days before. Why? Because the sperm is already up there in the fallopian tube so that when the egg is released from the ovary, bam, there he is. He's right there, man. Because if you wait too long, so now the egg has to travel from the ovary down the fallopian tube and then into the uterus. Now the egg gets fertilized in the fallopian tube. That's how it usually works, right? So you make sure that there's sperm there already, embryo implants in your uterus, Bob is your uncle. So there you go. Also, get drunk and F, man. You know, that's what I've heard the most when you're relaxed, when a woman is relaxed, nature can do its thing. If you're all stressed out, tense, I got to get pregnant this month, it's never going to happen. The minute you forget about it is when you're going to get pregnant. That's how I got with Ellis. Tom and I went to Ojai. We banged a bunch. No, this is before. Sorry. I didn't even realize I was pregnant. And we just banged a bunch in, where was it? Some terrible place. Virginia Beach. Sorry, Virginia Beach. The Marriott, I think. Okay. We have one more?
Yep. One more from Ellen.
Degenerate?
I'm not a mom. My name is Ellen, but this is me ratting my mom out, throwing her under the bus. She let me walk around for 3 days one time with a broken wrist.
Oh,
I was playing soccer and I broke it. And after 3 days of my wrist flapping around in the wind, she took me to the doctor and they pretty much called her a shitty mom. Yeah, but I love her. She's cool. And then also my brother used to like to push me down the stairs when I was a kid. And she saw him do it one time and she laughed really hard because she said it looked like I was doing cartwheels down the stairs. I promise she's a good mom. She had a couple fails here and there. I love her. She's cool.
Yeah. She sounds cool. Your mom sounds awesome. This is the craziest thing. Okay, you know when Dr. Drew... Yeah, it's a fucking cool mom. You know when Dr. Drew, I don't know if you ever watched the celebrity addiction show that he did. every single time he interviewed people, he'd be like, did you have any childhood trauma? And then the celebrity who had a severe heroin addiction and was in a porn addiction and a gambling addiction, the celebrity always go, no, childhood was great. Well, did your parents ever hit you? Well, yeah, there was this one time my mom beat me with a belt. Actually, there was 10 or 20,000 times my mother would beat me with a belt. And you're like, you find out that people had these horrendous childhoods that you don't really, you're not aware because it's normal to you because you probably haven't been to see a shrink to go over it. My favorite quote is you're like, my brother would push me down the stairs and then she would laugh, but I love her. She's a good mom. No.
Cool moms.
I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
It's not a cool mom. It's so not a cool mom. Your mom sounds like a piece of shit. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you had a shitty mom, and you need to go to therapy to straighten that out, bro. Like, if you break your wrist, you gotta go to the hospital. Now, there are sometimes I've heard stories where kids break ribs, and like sometimes the parents don't know that it's broken, but it sounds like your mother knew and was like, nah, that's expensive. Hospitals are expensive, or whatever her logic was. So, yeah, your mom sucked. You need to go help yourself. It's so funny how we defend our horrible parents. I defended my horrible parents for so many years, and then I'm like, no. They did teach me a lot of cool stuff, but I'll get into that on another episode. So thank you everybody for downloading this episode of Where My Mom's At. Go ahead and leave me a voicemail at 213-375-5184. See me do stand-up. If you haven't already, check out my 2 Netflix specials, Mother Inferior and The Degenerates. I was 8 months pregnant when I did The Degenerates, so check out how fat and sweaty I was there. And ticket links at Christina P online. Also, this place, we have a website here where it's WhereMyMomsAt.com. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye. Big tits. I got huge tits. Tits. Big tits. Big tits.
She's got big old hangers. Tits are so big.
I'm pregnant too. I got huge tits.
She's got big old hangers. Big tits. Big tits.
Johnny, take a look. What do you think?
Big tits. Tits are so big.
I'm pregnant too.